Yeah. Okay, so today's lesson is on encoding and sending formatted text. Guys, this is the goal for today. You're going to be able to design and invent a protocol for sending formatted text using the Internet Simulator. So we're going to talk about ASCII. Anybody know what that stands for?
No. Nope.
I read about it.
Cameron, Tyler, anybody? Y'all know what ASCII is?
It's
Okay, it's right here, this first definition. Let me turn my camera back over onto the screen. When you click on the lesson 7 page, it's part of your vocabulary. It stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. So it's the universally recognized raw text format that any computer can understand. Okay? So that's one of the things that we're going to look at today. But first, before we even start that, I want you to think of a way, if you had to create some kind of coding for text, formatted text, what would you think would be an easy code? So I put some little yellow sticky things out. Y'all maybe any extra ones or whatever, I can get them. But just jot down. If you want to. You're going to write down something, and y'all can use the same one and divide it. But I want each of you to come up with an idea of how you would encode text, like encrypt it, how you would make it into a message that the computer could read without text itself. So think about that. Just jot down something real quick. Here's some pens and pencils here. Y'all need them? Anybody need something to write with? So basically, if it were up to you, how would you encode text? It says in binary. It doesn't necessarily have to be in binary, but
No, think about that. It's kind of complicated.
just kind of think of a way that you could convert text to something else, to, you know.
Like anything else?
Can you give us an example?
Yes. Let me pull this up because, let's see if I can think of it. All right, so here's a quick example. Maybe it'll make sense when this screen comes back on. No, maybe. Came up with the same thing or different things.
Oh, the line's on. Is that better?
Yes. Okay, so we had technical difficulties for y'all that are not here. This, I was demonstrating a quick way to encode text with numbers. Back before cell phones, we had pagers. So if I wanted to send the message, I love you, to someone, I could do this, which represented the numbers on a phone keypad. And then you could look and see the number 4 has G, H, I as possibilities, and so on. So we would use this to encode text as messages. So that was just an example here. And this down here, I asked the class, what is today? What day of the week is today? So this answer spells out Tuesday. So that's what that example was about. Okay. Alright, so that was one quick example with the phone thing, and hopefully gets you thinking a little bit. The next thing I want to share with you, another way you could do it too was, let me see if I can get this to work, let's see. This image is not very big, I can't get it any bigger, but this just shows you, simply you could do 0 first space. The number 1 matches up with A, B, C, so on. That's just another way. You could assign each letter a number. And your partner would know what that number was and recognize that. Okay, so those are 2 quick examples. The next thing we're going to talk about is ASCII, which we defined right here, being the American Standard Code for Information Interchange. And here is what ASCII looks like. Okay, so this is an ASCII chart. This is how you interpret ASCII. So it assigns numbers to the letters. Okay, so the first 32 characters are formatting characters. 33, no, 36. Okay, 47. And then numbers start with 48 and so on. And then letters, you've got capital letters and lowercase reflected here. So it goes through 127, 0 through 127. So with ASCII coding, you have 128 possible combinations. This, Bryce, might help it make a little more sense to you since you know hexadecimal.
Or mine, is it mine?
Okay,
Yes,
good.
that does help.
Okay, so this is binary. What's this?
Octadecimal.
Okay. Then regular decimal and hexadecimal. Okay, so the space would be represented in hexadecimal with 20, 21, so on. Okay, so the letter A would be the number 41 in hexadecimal. And regular decimal, 65. Okay, so I'll give y'all the link to this too, so you can have that to compare. But notice when you go to this ASCII chart, these are the hexadecimal numbers. Okay, so this will also help you see hexadecimal versus ASCII numbers. Okay, so I will give you access to that. And then if you'll notice in Google Classroom, I put the worksheets that you'll need for your challenge. And you can also find them here if you're just in Code Studio. They're right here at the bottom, but I've attached them in Google Classroom for you. So they're here, this activity guide is what you're going to work on. So it says, with a partner and a small team, develop a protocol that allows you to send formatted text. So both the text and the formatting instructions must be derived from the printable ASCII character set. So I'll give you the link. I didn't add the link to Google Classroom, but I will. I'll put that in there. You have to include in your encoding how to bold, italics, and underline something. You have to have 3 different font sizes like large, medium, and small, and 3 different font colors like red, black, and blue. So basically, you could write that message that's shown there as an example. Whoa, this message sure has a lot of formatting in it. You would figure out a way to encode that, send it to your partner in the internet simulator, and they're going to be able to figure out the message from what you send them. So that's the challenge. That's what you're supposed to do. So like we've done in the past, first thing you need to do is come up with your protocol, your rules on what's going to mean what. How do you know that something's going to be bold? So does anybody have any suggestions for that? Anybody familiar with HTML coding in here? William, which class did you have me for?
Multimedia design.
Okay, so you know HTML coding somewhat. We talked about it some at least. So let me show you, for example, okay, this website. If I right click on any website and I go to, well, view source, this is HTML coding for this website. Okay, this is what tells Internet Explorer how to read and display everything that's on this webpage. I just right-clicked and went to View Source. So if there's text in, okay, for instance, this is a table because it's got cell padding. You all know Microsoft Word, right? You ever created a table in Word?
Yeah.
You have, or even if you know Excel, your cells, each cell has a certain width and height and stuff. So this is what cell padding, cell spacing, col span that tells you how wide your columns are, the frame border, like the width of the outline around your frame, the height. These are all attributes that told this web page how to display. Okay, so this is considered a table the way they've got it on here, okay? Oh, how do I get back to where I just closed that from? Give me a second. Also, if something is going to display in bold, I don't know if this is a good website for it. Let's see. Let me go to a high school website. Okay, if I view code on this one, view source, let's get down here to something that I can read to tell you what's in bold or not. Okay. These are colors right here. These codes represent a color. This tells somebody that something's centered. This tells the type of font. Where is something that's in bold?
Is it in like purple? No.
Hey, you had me for design too. No, you didn't. You had
I
Cornell.
had Miss Carmichael,
But she
but we
said-
did it as well. It's just been like 2 years.
Yes. So everything in HTML comes between these brackets. See right here where it says style and it's got this bracket, script. These are brackets. So I know I can go to this because we just went over this in a multimedia design class not long ago. So let me show you this real quick, even though this is a totally different class, but hopefully this will help. Okay. Okay, here is, let me make it bigger. Here are some HTML tags for bolding text. So in HTML, you have a bracket. This is your opening bracket and this is your closing bracket. So anything between these two things are in bold because this tells the Internet Explorer or Chrome or whoever how to read it. So this is going to tell the computer to display it in bold text like that. So if it's in italics, then they use this, or sometimes you'll see EM in parentheses for emphasized. So that means the same thing as italic. So then it tells it to display it like that. Okay. So maybe kind of think on the line along the lines of HTML when you're thinking of how to encode something to format text. Come up with some symbols or something that are going to tell the person getting it that it's going to be bold or in italics. So those are things you have to, and then you need to do something for the size. You're going to have small, medium, and large text. So when you do that, then look back at that ASCII chart because you've got some characters to choose from. So maybe you want, something, instead of these little brackets, maybe you want to use exclamation points or asterisks or something. But you've got to come up with rules to say what's going to be bold, what's going to represent something as being bold, or small text or large text. In HTML, you also have different headings. Like this is how we know if something is supposed to be big letters and bold, it's heading 1, heading 2, heading 6 is the smallest. So those would be like subtitles on something. So you might have different levels of something to recognize. If it's large text, maybe you want a number 3. If it's small text, maybe you want a number 1, or reverse it like they do in HTML. The lower the number, the bigger the text in HTML, so that's the importance of it. Importance levels is what it goes by. So does that help you kind of get going on that? So you just have to look back at that ASCII chart because you're going to use those.
Ms. Keith, y'all still do the website project?
Yeah, we haven't yet this semester because we just started Dreamweaver. We're just finishing up chapter 2 of Dreamweaver. So you'll use this chart. I'll give you the link to this. So another quick little challenge, and we'll do it on this pink paper over here on the board. You have to write your name in ASCII. So come over here, grab a marker, and put a couple up here so in case we run out of room. But print your name, your regular first name, and
Like
then
it is above?
ASCII. You're going to, these are the things that you have to do. I'm going to get my cheat sheet here. It has to be make sure we can see this. Okay, so you have to write your name like this. You're going to have a little asterisk thing in front of it, capital first letter, lowercase everything else, and then a parentheses. Okay? So you got to figure out in ASCII how to do that. So you can write your name here and then the code out beside it. So mine, because I did it ahead of time, okay, so make sure that you do something to separate so we know that each one of these is a separate character. Okay? But these numbers say that. So use that ASCII chart, go over there and write it so you can, if you want to figure it out at your desk first and then copy it over. But I want us to have this as an artifact to help us remember how ASCII works. And I'll add this to Google Classroom for you too.
Don't know what you said.
I didn't click it, Jason. I was listening to Ms.
You
Keith.
said I have.
Hold on one second. I'm going to copy this and paste it to Google Classroom and then I'll put it back up so y'all have access to it. Okay. So, and if you need to scroll, me to scroll it down so you can see the whole thing.
Come on, internet work.
But after you figure that out and you've got your name written on there, then start working, looking at that worksheet. And at least we have an even number of people today. And y'all can work with the partner that's here and maybe at least kind of develop a protocol. Make sure you both understand it. And then maybe when we come back Friday, I guess, actually get on Internet Simulator and practice it. Or if you want to practice on Internet Simulator and figure it out and then develop your protocol, but whatever order you are able to get it done in. You need to, I lost my page on that. But the Internet Simulator is right after this page, after your vocabulary. You hit continue. And that's where you go in here and you join the room. And join up with somebody
The
to
number,
practice
the
it.
actual digit number,
Okay.
that number.
Yeah, the very bottom number is the ASCII
Oh,
number.
my goodness. Oh, okay.
The one in the middle is the hexadecimal number.
Excuse me. Oh, I guess I'll-
So the one at the bottom is hexadecimal?
No. The one on the bottom is the ASCII number.
Okay.
That's the number you need, the bulb number. Just doesn't show up very well on camera.
I don't wanna be in the camera.
You'll survive, I promise. I want everybody that's not here to have a good example.
You rooted on mine. Yep. Why don't you write my numbers down? On it, so we can like just go through it.
Whenever you get ready to go into the internet simulator, remember to, every time we go into internet simulator, some things have changed. I remember last time you could use binary or decimal, so make sure you look at all your options.
Mine, fours. Which ones you have on card? So I had to get-
You guys are on me,
They want special.
What's that? Go fix my name, right?
No, fine, I'll write it.
Oh. You have to be special.
Excuse me, excuse me. Excuse me.
You can enter that here.
Okay, yeah, we'll be finishing this up using the internet simulator. Alright, so you may want to,
Right, it's much better.
we'll have to finish it on Friday.